till that little thing goes all the way over. Hey everyone. Welcome to Chef AJ and Friends. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and I have a very, very special show for you today. It's been about a year since we lost the beloved Dr. John McDougall, and we're here today to catch up with his wife and daughter, Heather and Mary McDougall. Please welcome them to the show. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
You're
you,
so
AJ.
welcome.
Oh my God, I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. I even wore a special shirt that I don't wear a lot. It says, I just really like potatoes.
Oh,
And I also wore my sweet potato earrings
I like those too.
just so we have the clothing. So I am so happy to talk to you. And please, you feel free to talk about anything you want to talk about, but I need to show you something that somebody just gave me as a present because I thought I had all of, the McDougall books. But then somebody found these books from a
Oh
long
my God.
time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And I just got to show you the picture on the back.
oh,
Oh,
wait, doesn't it even look like me?
I know. It's like this is just crazy. And I mean, they had to get it like at a bookstore that, like for used books and stuff.
Oh, probably cost them $1.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it costs them a little more. It's 229 actually.
Oh,
And
okay.
and they also got me this one, which was endorsed by Dr. McDougall. I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Siegel.
Oh,
The
yeah.
but
Yeah.
and there's some wonderful recipes in here because we think about you, Mary, at least this is how other people have described you as the mother of oil-free cooking, because before you, there really wasn't anything like that.
There wasn't. It was uh it was a big shock at first, let me tell you, when I had to learn to cook that way. But once I got the principles down, um, it didn't seem so hard anymore. I was like, okay, you leave out this and you just add some broth and everything works out fine. And it probably even tastes better without the grease. But the first couple of months were tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find like when people eat out or travel, that's the hardest thing. It's not so hard getting vegan or plant-based, but to articulate what
Uh,
oil or to do no oil, it's like you're speaking like you're from another planet.
oh, and one thing about Portland is it's, well, kind of renowned for all kinds of vegan restaurants. And every time we would go there and try one, which we did for the first couple of years, and they were all grease, really oily and uh, tiny, small portions, about this big, like that was supposed to fill somebody up. But they got great reviews for being vegan restaurants, and I don't go there anymore.
Yeah. Well, when you get used to eating no oil, and then like I was at an event where it was minimal oil, but even that, like you don't feel good.
No, no. I had
If
I
you
had
don't
the
eat oil and then you eat it again, you really notice it. You feel it on your skin. It makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference to the cleanup too. I mean, I think people, if they knew how easy it was to do your dishes when you don't have oil, they might consider doing it just for that reason. So how, I was watching a video when that I was talking to you with Heather before, and like you talked about how you made your own milk back in the day, but like there was no book for you to learn any of this. There was no internet. How did you figure this out?
oh boy, that's a really good question, AJ. It's been so long. I mean, Heather remembers when we started making our own cashew and almond milk. And I honestly do not have any idea where I found the recipe because we didn't have internet. It must have been um, some handout at one of our local, uh, like I guess they called them health food stores then, where they had bins of stuff and no convenience food, just plain stuff. And
Mom, I still prefer the homemade plant milks, like the cashew milks, almond
Yes,
milks that you make from scratch. They're so good.
they are. They're much better. It seems like when companies turned into making these things, and now you can buy them everywhere. And we couldn't buy them anywhere back then. And
And it's not just cashew or almond anymore. It's pea, it's quinoa, it's flax. It's like everything is a milk.
everything. Yeah.
I'm
Who
But
knew?
I'm surprised you haven't thought of how to make potato milk yet.
oh, I don't know. Potato milk sounds a little.
It is a thing supposedly. I've never tasted it. I've tasted zucchini milk and it's pretty good. I've written 4 books and about 400 recipes, and it took me my whole life. You've written 10 times that many, 4,000. Like how does one write 4,000 recipes?
Well, you make one or two, maybe five new recipes a week. And you test them on your kids. And if they say, bleh, then you try again. But
We were her guinea pigs. We tried them all. I was her sous chef too.
yeah.
I remember those days of you developing recipes. It was intense, there's lots of cooking, lots of prepping, well, a few bombs or disasters, but
a,
most of them made
a
them
few
in the recipe
bombs.
books. There's even a few recipes that are named after me, like Heather's Mushroom Delight. That was one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
recipes. But there's some oldies but goodies in those two cookbooks you showed, AJ. Those are some of the original, the classics. So if you can find those copies somewhere, get them.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's where did they get them? Good. Actually, it says Goodwill on it. So, hey,
Okay.
You never
Well,
know.
a lot of the recipes in those books were a joint effort by Heather and myself because, just like she said, she was my sous chef. And I would develop the idea and I would tell her, oh, you have to chop this and do this and whatever. And so those are joint efforts. And it's like she said, Heather's Mushroom Delight, she used to love that. And she was, God, what, 6?
you know,
Forgot
Probably.
how old I was. Jeez.
it's interesting with all the recipes you've created. From what I understand, both of you eat pretty simply. You don't make recipes very often.
Oh, well, in the past year, no, I don't make recipes very often, except when Heather's son Jason is here. Um, During the winter at Oregon State, he is here from the end of September until the middle of June, and he's here every weekend. And so he will often ask me, Grandma, can you make this? Or, something that he remembers. And so we have fun doing that. But for myself alone, I those little potato bags that they sell in the supermarket that are small potatoes.
Yep.
I use those a lot, and I take a whole bag, I cut them in half, I cook them for about 8 minutes, I drain them, I use half, and I cool half for the next day, and then whatever I feel like putting on top of them, that's what I do, and I can't. I don't use my slow cooker hardly anymore. And Heather remembers my slow cooker was going all the time when she was younger.
Yeah.
But now it makes too much food, and so I have to admit that I fall back on Santa Fe instant refried beans a lot. And I'll make myself you know, uh, I don't even know what to call them, quesadillas with those beans in them and a bunch of vegetables. But I don't use any specific recipe anymore. It's just for me.
Keep it simple. But that's what we teach is just simplicity. I don't follow a lot of recipes either, but we make a lot more food, but we do lots of bowls in the house. So, we choose a grain and then a bean, some type of veggies that we saute, and then a sauce. And so, we can change that to be Mexican or Italian or Asian or so I don't follow a lot of recipes and I do like to keep it simple, but sometimes I go to the website and I'll choose like lasagna and the Caesar salad recipe, and I'll make some garlic bread, some minestrone soup.
I do that too, and mostly for birthdays.
Yeah, so we can spend a bit more time in the kitchen, but I like to spend the least amount of time in the kitchen and do the fewest amount of dishes. So that's one pot meals for me. I love soups and stews, casseroles. I love my instant pot. And so that's, just a few dishes that I have to do. And like you said, AJ, if you're not using oil, it makes cleanup is so much easier. So
Absolutely. Mary,
simple.
did you ever get into the Instant Pot? Because I know you were a big fan of the slow cooker.
You know, I'm sorry to say, but the slow cooker is still my favorite. But yeah, I use my Instapot all the time for potatoes because I can put whole potatoes in the Instapot and turn it on, and 15 minutes later they're done, and I can mash them or do whatever I want. So um, I would probably have to say that the Instapot is my potato cooker.
Nice. That's great. Do you have one of those little baskets? I use that little basket so like it's easy. I can cook a bunch of them and then just pick it up.
No, my I don't have that in my Instapot. I just put them in the bottom, put a little water in, and I don't even know the number, but I have it memorized, or it's memorized on my
Yeah.
Instapot.
Your
And
Instant Pot does remember the last time you use it. If Charles can hear me, I'm going to ask him to grab it because if you don't have one, I'd like to get you one because I love this because you don't. Charles, could you please go to the large Instant Pot and get the basket so I can show Mary? Because I think you'd really love it. It just
oh
you
yeah,
just
I probably would.
yeah. I would just need to know the size of your Instant Pot because I don't want to because mine's 8 quart and you wanted to get one to.
Oh,
That's
well,
so.
I'd have to leave a minute and go look right over in
Well, I
my.
think yours is a 6 quart, Mom.
You think
Mary,
so?
there's
Yeah.
something over your shoulder. Is that like a sweet potato sprouting over your right shoulder that I
Oh,
have behind you?
everybody asks that, and this is the coolest thing. I have a personal trainer who comes to my house twice a week, and she brought me this about a year ago, and didn't say anything about it. And for the first couple of weeks, I thought it was real, and I kept looking for it, but then I tip it, uh, the water doesn't move. It's fake.
It looks so real. I thought you were doing
It
like a little.
does.
I've heard of those science experiments, and I thought that you were like just sprouting or something.
No, I mean it's got roots growing off it, and there. I have no idea who made it or where she got it, but
That is a great gift for a McDougall.
it is.
I
I
always
love it.
whenever I got you guys gifts, I always tried to find something potato related or something like that. So there's apparently a potato museum somewhere. I think it's in Idaho where they have all kinds of,
It should
hot
be.
plates and gifts. So this is what it is. So this is the 8 quart, but you have your regular insert. And then what this is a basket. And so what's really cool is you don't need, it doesn't get hot. So when I have my potatoes, I can cook like a 2 pound bag, pull it out. But especially I like it for artichokes.
Oh, wait
Um,
a minute. I'm gonna leave for just a minute. You talk to Heather.
okay,
I'm
Heather,
gonna find mine. It's
if,
right
if,
there in the front.
if they make these for the 6 quart, I'll get one for your mom because I think I forgot her birthday this year. So, but
Oh,
maybe
neat.
I don't know. Lately, I'm not even getting people's presents. I'm just sending them granola. That's like I just don't buy it. When you get to a certain age, what do you need anymore? Just granola.
Oh,
So
I love the granola. Thank
yeah.
you for sending
Yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods pretty
It
soon,
wasn't
so I'll
that
be
far
bringing.
away.
Oh, Mary, those are the magnets I gave you.
Yes, I love them. They
I
stick
think
on
that's a six
perfect.
quart, Mom.
It's what?
I think that's their 6 quart. So AJ, I have the basket, but it's silicone, same type of basket.
Nice. It does. It could be silicone. Yeah, it's just cool because then sometimes potatoes, if you take them out, you might mush them a little bit if you're taking them out. And so this is I just love it because I can fit 4 artichokes in here, and I love artichokes, and it's like 7 minutes in the Instant Pot. Oh, so we have a question for either of you. It's about a recipe on your website. The McDougall website has 3 to 4 split pea recipes. What is the go-to you usually make? The one that you make, because apparently there's 3 or 4 recipes.
I make the one from the healthiest diet on the planet.
So it's the one that has like the lima beans, right? And the
No,
split peas. Oh, not that
no,
one.
I don't make that one anymore.
Oh, okay.
I just make split peas, barley, and then onions, carrots, and celery. And I can't remember how many peas. 2 cups of peas, 8 cups of water, I think, and then the seasonings. But I don't use the lima beans anymore.
Okay. So
Oh, I still use
the
potatoes.
simple.
So Mary, behind you, there's a beautiful like dolphins, I think, on a picture, and a lot of people like Pat are asking, do you still have that beautiful thing of Hawaii on your wall?
No, that burned up. Oh
Wait,
no, no, no.
yeah,
The
yeah, it was like
islands. Oh
Dr.
yeah,
Yeah, like that.
I have one in the room where John and I used to do uh the whatever you call them, podcast or Zoom shows, and then I have another bigger one on the wall in my bedroom, and they're made from koa, from Hawaii, and so I'll never take those down, but I would never move back there either. I mean, that was a wonderful part of our life, and I'm really lucky that Heather and Patrick, they got to live there for 12 and 13 years and really absorb a lot of Hawaii and what it was like. Craig was only 4 and a half when we left, so he doesn't remember it as much as they do, but I think it probably changed our lives in uh, a good direction, but I can't really say what direction. You know,
Well,
John,
gosh, if you guys wouldn't have gone to Hawaii, who knows what Dad would have done? I mean, he got
oh,
his
I
start
know.
at the sugar plantation. So,
Oh, Heather, I think about that place a lot. That crummy old house that we had in the Bunny Run and all the stuff, but the tiny little grocery stores that weren't even really grocery stores. And it's not like that anymore. You go back there now, and in the little town that we lived in, there's a huge grocery store. So yeah, it would have been different. Uh,
yeah,
but
Hawaii 48 years ago was very, very different.
very, very, very different. You're right.
Are you in touch with anybody that you knew when you were there? Like Terry Shintani, for example?
Well, he used to call John all the time. I have not talked to him in probably a year since after John died. But no,
Oh, you know who
I,
just reached out to you was Ruth Heydrich. Everybody
yeah,
knows Ruth.
everybody knows Ruth.
She's in Hawaii still, isn't she? Or did she move from there? I don't even know, actually.
I don't either.
She still lives there for
Is
sure.
she?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the $1 million question everybody's asking. How have you been?
I'm pretty good. You know, the first couple of months were really hard because I was all alone. It was right after Jason left. And so I had no weekend visitor. Um, Even though my son lives here and I saw him a lot, but um, Heather and Patrick and Craig were all here right afterward, and they were with me for a few days. And I went out to Craig's place in Hood River, stayed there a few days, and then I went to Santa Rosa, and I stayed there what, a couple of months. But this is before I had Bailey. Having a little dog makes a huge difference
Yes,
in,
it does. It
in
does.
what you can do and how much you have to pack up and what you have to. But I mean, she's added so much to my life that I can't imagine not having her.
I know you because you really most of the time, at least the whole time I knew you, you didn't seem to have a dog.
Well, we had big dogs because we had, you know, or acre and a half of land, and it was really open and free, but it was all fenced in. And so we had Rottweilers forever.
Really? But
Oh yeah.
little dogs are just different.
Oh, they're really different. And every once in a while, when I'm cuddling Bailey, I think, oh my God, John would have hated this because he liked big dogs. We had a Doberman. We, God, we, we had a Doberman. We had a Husky. No, she was a Malamute. We had at least we had four uh, 4 or 5, counting Heather's, because Heather's Rottweiler lived with us for a while too. So we always, but we had enough land, and we could let them out the door, and it was all fenced in, and they could just run and have fun. So having a little dog is way different.
Absolutely. But
And I think probably I didn't realize when I got her how different it would be.
well, also you got a Havanese, which is what my Bailey was, and they are called Velcro dogs because these are not dogs that just want to go outside and play.
No,
They want to be either on your lap. I mean, you can't even go to the bathroom and close the door when you have a
oh
Havanese.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I mean, I guess I read a little bit about Havanese before I got her, and that's what they said. She'll want to be with you all the time, and she does. I mean, I even have to beg her to go outside for a walk. We were outside yesterday, and she likes it when she's out there, but it's not like she's sitting by the door waiting for me to put her collar on so she can go out. She likes being home. She has
Well,
her own deck with 2 doors.
well, she's like
And
Dr. McDougall. He liked being home too.
yeah, yeah. She just loves it here. She goes out when she wants. She comes in when she wants, and uh, of course, it's nicer now that it's a little bit warmer in Portland because I can have the door open all day. Even though in the winter I'd still crack it open a little bit so she'd get out. But
We all thought you maybe would move back to Santa Rosa.
you know,
We asked.
I mean, I've
We
seen that.
tried.
I've seen Heather's house. I mean, that is a beautiful house.
oh
I would move there. I mean,
well,
We
I
have
have a
space for her.
they built me a great house that John and I actually furnished with the same kind of furniture that we have in our house here. And I like it. The doors are easy. I can get Bailey outside, but I can't let her just wander outside. I have to go out with her because there's no fence around the little house. But I like it there. But AJ, I have this absolutely fantastic view.
yeah.
My whole condo is filled with floor to ceiling windows, every single room except for the bathrooms. And I look outside, and I mean, it's just really great. I mean, yesterday I saw a barge pushing a house down the river. And I don't know. I don't really feel like a Portlander, but I don't know that I feel like a Santa Rosa person either. But those are the only two places I would consider going. I would never move back to Hawaii,
Yeah.
or Michigan, or uh,
And now she just shuffles back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy. It's not too far away. So
Well,
well,
Sherry, who's watching live on Instagram, says she remembers her trip to Hawaii with Dr. McDougall and Heather, and what a wonderful
fun.
time they had. Yeah,
oh,
I mean, there's so you guys have created just a legacy of just not just all the recipes and the medical stuff, but just with all the adventure trips you had and all the advanced study weekends. I mean, I think that's in a way what people often miss the most because it created a sense of community, you know?
So many memories. I have people write me all the time telling me they went to Hawaii with us, or Costa Rica 20 years ago, or, Belize. And we've been doing this since, I mean, for 30 years. We were doing adventure trips and the advanced study weekend. So it's like hearing from old friends, people that you met on these trips because you're in Hawaii for
it
a whole week
is.
with these people, or Costa Rica for a whole week, and you really get to know them and share these memories of these incredible experiences. So I love that. I think sometimes about starting up trips again because that was such a fun
Oh,
part
it
of the
was. It
business.
was fun.
Well, it's possible.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Really being able to travel without having to worry about your food and going on these, amazing adventures with like-minded people is it's pretty fun.
That would be amazing. I know there's, they have the cruise and stuff, and there are some opportunities, but to be able to do it with the McDougalls would be so fun. One of my favorite things you guys created, and I was so lucky because it was the last one, and I know it was too much work for you, but your celebrity chef weekends were
Oh,
so much fun.
oh, Heather, it,
That was fun.
it,
But you're right, so much work.
it was
Gosh,
so much
cleaning
fun.
and the breakdown and the prep of every chef one after the other and all their ingredients and all the supplies they needed. But oh, the recipes that were created. Kevin Dunn was one that I remember.
Oh,
I mean, but there were
he
just
was
some
great.
amazing chefs. That was fun, AJ.
Yeah, that I remember that was like my first foray into the McDougal world, and it was just like incredible. And people, but I having produced my own events after that, that's why we do fewer cooking demos than lectures because lectures are so much easier. But you're right,
Right?
the prep, but just the things that you guys have created is absolutely amazing. Oh, so what is the magnet on the Instant Pot? So these are things that a friend of mine makes named Diane Doyle from Plant-Based Dallas, and I'll see if I can find the link for you. But you can buy them, and what's really cool about them is that you don't have to look up, like, because yeah, Mary, show it. Like, hey, you got to talk so you'll be big.
Oh, okay. Well, AJ sent me these, and one of them is whole food, plant based, instant pot cookie chart. And then there's another one that is, I don't know,
Isn't it like grains and
very
beans, I
similar.
think?
Yeah, grains.
I
Yeah.
thought I didn't I give you a pair, Heather? If not,
Oh, yes,
I always
yes.
try to give
Oh, yeah.
mother. Mhm.
And there's no better place to cook them or to put them than right on your Instant Pot because then you don't have to go look for them
Yeah, it's great because
or forget where you left them.
yeah, a lot of times you can't memorize, with a rice cooker, you just push the button, but you don't have to memorize how much time for this bean or this rice. So while they're talking, I'll see if I can grab the link from the show with Diane. But they're just wonderful, I think like what a cool idea they have. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the things right now, and they don't say where they came from.
Yeah.
So,
That's a bad marketing thing. She should actually put that on it. So
oh
Nurse
wait,
Sandy says
I've got www.plantbasednut.com.
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, plantbaseddallas.com. That's right.
Okay.
www. And you know what they do there? They're really interesting. So they do this thing there where they have these jar parties where, instead of everybody batch cooking everything themselves, they get together, I don't know if it's once a week or once a month, and everybody brings a component. And so, somebody's job was to cut up bell peppers and then they all go home with a bunch of different things that they do in jars. I don't know. That sounds fascinating.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
great
I thought
idea.
I figured they would, um, everybody would bring one thing and then at your party, you'd put them all together and see what you come up with.
Yeah, it would be really fun. I don't know if either Mary or Heather have done this, but if you ever did, I have a little membership community now. It's really fun. It's called Chef AJ and Friends. So we do things that are, we do not here on YouTube. But one of the things we did last week, and I really enjoyed it, is we do kind of like an Iron Chef competition. And I did it with my friend Lissa Maris of Raw Food Romance. And the community picked the secret ingredients, and then we had to make a savory and a sweet recipe. And I love doing that because it's just that's just because that's how people should cook. Not, I mean, not that they can't use recipes, but when I was raised, that's how the people cooked at home. They weren't really using books. It's like, okay, well, I got an onion and I got a zucchini, so I'm gonna make something with an onion and a zucchini kind of thing.
Well,
I love it.
I
So
think
AJ,
Heather,
what were the ingredients? I'm curious. What
So
were
so we
I think Heather and I did that too.
isn't it fun? Like it could be McDougall versus
There
McDougall.
weren't any books, so we just kind of made stuff up as we went along with things that we thought the rest of the family would like.
Yeah. So the secret ingredient wasn't that. So they picked the vegetable was zucchini, which technically is a fruit, and the fruit was cherry. And it was just fun. I made like a cherry tart, and then I made this. I don't even know what its name is. A Korean dish with eggplant and zucchini. But we got four recipes done, both of us in an hour. So that's pretty good.
wow,
Oh,
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then now we have four more recipes. So yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
So AJ, to be honest with you, I don't have any recipe books other than the ones that you have so graciously sent me or other people have sent me because, after the fire, I didn't buy any more. I just go online, I go to the website, I go to the app, I go to the internet and search up what I want to make and just create from there or just do what's in my head, what's in my fridge, pantry,
And I
and
have
create
everybody's
something.
book, but I don't really use very many books, like you say, I like to just make food and then put it together, like you do,
Me
Heather,
too.
like with the
Yep.
bowls. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
doing that, I tend to get stuck in ruts sometimes because you do what's in your head and what you're comfortable with, what you're familiar with. You tend to buy the same things, and then the kids will start complaining because Mom, we keep having this, and
Same
so then I
thing.
have to mix things up a little bit. But yeah, it's good. There's so many recipes to choose from, either ones that you've created, Mom, or AJ, or I mean, there's thousands on the internet. So even the ones with oil, I can easily adapt to have
Oh,
no oil. So it's
so
fun.
easy.
So I just posted the link to the magnet set, and that is you can buy them yourself, and you'll be supporting Plant-Based Dallas. I wish you guys could come here because we have a lot of vegan restaurants that will cook without oil, and I get you my favorite sandwich in the whole world. It is orange sweet potato roasted, and they put on caramelized onions. And they put on cucumbers and sprouts and hummus if you want it, but I don't eat beans, so I get this vegan cheese sauce instead. And it's like the best thing I ever ate. I don't know why. It's the pickled onions, I think, but it's like it's mind-blowing how good
This,
this sandwich
this
is.
is
Yum.
Sacramento.
It's actually in Auburn, which you would love Auburn.
Oh yeah, I know. I know Auburn.
Auburn is all trees. It's a place called Auburn Bodega. It's not a vegan restaurant. It's a little hippie store, but they make like four different vegan sandwiches, and they're just so good.
Mm.
And I will have to learn to recreate it myself. And so I think they told us what was in their recipes. It's just the guy doesn't measure. See, so he said because he says ever since I did a video, he says everybody's calling me. He goes, here's the ingredients. I don't know how much I put in, so we'll have to figure that out. So that's really
Well,
cool.
AJ, next
Well,
time my mom
that'll,
comes to visit, we'll come up
Oh
and
my God, that would be
take you
great.
to
I'm
lunch.
telling
Yeah.
you, it is worth coming here just for the sandwich. I know somebody that came just from LA just to have this. And I'm not
oh
kidding.
well,
I love it.
Heather drives through Auburn all the time in the winter.
Well, then we got to you got to go there. It's open 7 days a week. And it's
Yeah, I've
actually
never been there.
And what's really cool about it is on the website, it says dogs welcome and they don't have to be service dogs. So that's pretty cool right there. So, and I have seen dogs there. Yeah.
I
I
love
love John McDougall. One year I made enchiladas for Thanksgiving. I think that's the one time that you guys actually do recipes or your recipes or make more recipes.
Thanksgiving for sure. But you know, I've been doing Thanksgiving for so many years. I almost have it memorized, except for the stuffing spices. I think everything else I've got memorized, but they are actual recipes.
Yeah.
But you know, Heather, it's true because even for me, the stuffing, I mean, I've made it for, I don't know, 30 or 40 years. And I use the same ingredients and the same amount of time. And sometimes it turns out really perfect. And sometimes it's just a little too soggy. And I don't change anything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Here's a question. Yeah, people forget about the fire you all experienced living in Santa Rosa. That had to be like extremely traumatic. I cannot imagine.
So
Dixie says, did you guys live a more simple, minimalistic way after the fire? Because when you lose all your stuff, you
for sure.
for
Yeah.
sure.
It changes things. You just, I don't, your love of things is just different. You just realize that it's just stuff, and you don't want to put that much value
I
on it
mean,
because it can be gone in a second. So we have a lot less stuff than we did before the fire, for sure.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like when when John and I escaped from the fire, thanks to Heather and her kids banging on our window, um, I escaped with my phone and my purse, and John had his laptop,
Yeah, that was it.
and that was it.
You just seem to have such a resilient spirit because I remember, like, we didn't know how bad the fire was. People heard about it, but I remember even that day, like, texting you, and you seem to have such a way of getting through things that is amazing. Where did you get that?
No, it's just the attitude that the whole family's had. Everyone was safe, and that was the most important thing. And it was just stuff. So you rebuild, you make the most of it, you learn from it. I mean, I feel like we're better off than we were before the fire. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but the things that we've learned, the things that our boys have learned, resilience, how to adapt, what's really important in life.
Oh,
I think those are lessons that are priceless.
your boys were young. I mean, they went
Yeah,
through this in their
8, 10,
teenage
and
years.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I think it's made them into incredibly strong young men
Oh, I
that,
think so too.
realize what's important and how to handle, you know, anything that comes their way. So, yeah,
Somebody's saying it's because you're a nurse, Mary. That's how you have such a brain.
Oh,
she is a nurturer for sure.
And
oh, I, unfortunately, I'm one of those people that always tries to make everybody happy.
oh,
It's just, I mean, that's just the way I was. And it's not like I learned it from my mom. It's just me. And so, what I've had to learn in the past year since John died is I plan one day at a time. Maybe, I mean, if I'm going to do a trip to Santa Rosa, then obviously I have to schedule it a week ahead of time. But I like being here. I can walk my dog. I have a great little park right in front of my condo. Um, Craig's here. I see him and the kids a couple times a week. I see Heather, not as often as I would like to, but I'm actually thinking about doing a trip to Santa Rosa by myself in August with just me and Bailey and my stuff. I mean, last year, uh, I couldn't do it. I had to have Heather's oldest son, Jason, come up and get me. And then we went out together. But I think I'm strong enough this year that I can do it. I can do it myself. I just need a suitcase and a dog carrier and a carry-on bag. And how hard can that be? You
Well,
know?
I would suggest if August is the month, do it at the end of August and then come to Vegas with Heather
Uh,
so that you can accept the Lifetime Achievement Award that is being presented to Dr. John McDougall at the Plant Powered Party on Friday
I
night.
know. But
Neil,
Heather already promised me she's doing it herself.
okay. Well, we
I
have
tried.
they hired a professional singer and they're doing like, oh, Heather, don't forget to send me those photos because they're doing, kind of like, with the Academy Awards when they have like Billie Eilish singing a heartfelt song and then they have the photos behind. So they're going to do that. And Dr. Neil Barnard is going to be the one to say a few words,
Oh,
present the award to you on behalf of your dad. Well, here's the 2 days before Dr. McDougall died, I talked to him on the phone, begging him, to be a speaker at that conference. Because even though I'm hosting, I was helping the producer, get the speakers. And he didn't say no. He said, I like to be at home. That's what he said. And so kind of left off a window, like, well, maybe he'd do it. And then but that was just I mean, gosh, that was such a shock. I mean, the world, yeah, I mean, obviously you guys lost your father and your husband, but I'm sure you guys know he was loved by so many people, so many people.
oh, yeah.
AJ, after he passed away, the outpouring of love and support and encouragement and stories about, how my dad changed someone's life or, what he did for them. It was just amazing. I mean, people I hadn't heard from in decades. It was really special. Just all the tributes to him, just all kinds of people, came out in support for him and his work. And it really meant a lot to me and my mom and our entire family. So um, it was really great to see how much he impacted people on so many different levels. So, and I still hear about it. I still get emails from people or cards from people. So it really means a lot.
It was really devastating because I mean, not that I ever got over it, but it was like a 1-2 punch because it was almost a year to the date that we lost Dr. Hans Deal at the same
Mm.
age.
Yeah.
And, and then it's like, and it's just, it just was just really, how did the kids handle it? All the grandchildren, because some of them were younger and some of them were older.
Well, I mean, again, my boys are very resilient, of course, sad and, upset that grandpa's gone, but, you know, he led such an amazing life and he did so many great things and they had so much fun with him. I went on so many trips with him.
Oh,
He was a
we
huge,
took
both he and
them
my mom.
all over.
Yeah.
And
So, I think just a
Jason
life
still
well
talks about
lived.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that anybody wanted him to go, but if you got to go, I mean, because I can't imagine him ever like being sick or a patient. Could you imagine, like, as a nurse having Dr. McDougall as a patient? Like,
Oh,
No,
be,
we joke about that.
that would have been the worst thing for any institute. I mean, so, God bless him for that. I talk
Yeah,
to him
it
all the
was.
time. I mean, I do talk to him all the time and I ask him questions and, to please guide me and all that stuff because he was helping me so, so much. He was just amazing that way. So, yeah. So, Mary, what's your day like? Because I know I used to know that you like to read. So I'm guessing you probably still do that.
well, for the first 4 months or so after he died, I couldn't read. Nothing would really stick in my head. So I worked this word puzzle all the time. And it's kind of weird because I did it all the time for maybe 8 or 9 months. And all of a sudden, I don't have interest in it anymore. And I'm reading again and I'm enjoying it. And so, we never like to read the same books. He would always ask me, pick out something you think I would like, because he always wanted to learn something when he read. It was never just for fun. He he wanted a, a true life story where somebody made a difference or did something extraordinary. And there are a lot of those. And I read a lot of them too, but he didn't like the stuff I would read. I like thrillers and mysteries that I can really get caught up in. And thankfully, in the last 4 months, I've been able to do that again, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It was always my favorite hobby, uh, even as a kid. I never was a big sports fan or a big sports player, except for now that Jason's here on the weekends. Uh, we never miss a Warriors game. I don't care if I live in Portland, where the Trailblazers are. I'm still a Warriors fan.
Nice.
And
One thing I also miss about Dr. McDougall not being here is he'd always tell me what to watch. Like he'd always have a movie recommendation.
oh,
And a couple of times I made some TV show recommendations that he liked, like Resident Alien. Are you still watching that? That's
I
my favorite.
know. I got involved in this program called NCIS, and there's like 22 seasons.
Oh my gosh. That's
And so, in the evening, when I'm kind of done doing all my stuff and taking my dog out and all this stuff, about 8 o'clock at night, I'll turn on NCIS, and sometimes I'll watch 3 episodes a night. And so I've gone from, I'm on season 19 already.
oh my gosh. Well, you're gonna pretty soon you're gonna have to find another show.
Oh, well, then I'm going to NCIS Hawaii.
That is funny. Is there anything you've always wanted to do that you have time for now, like learn a language, play an instrument, take some art classes, and anything like that?
Hmm. No, not really. You know, AJ, I've always been kind of a loner. I like to be by myself. I like to do my own things. I love taking care of my plants and my house. And now I'm back into reading again. I really, really like that. Um, yeah, I like taking Bailey out for walks. It's way more fun than walking alone.
Because they enjoy, that's what's so cool about dogs is they live in the moment and they just, it's like for them going for a walk is like us going to Disneyland, you know?
Oh yeah, she doesn't like to walk very far because her legs are
Yeah.
like this short, and so if I try to push her too far, it's like as soon as she sees something that looks familiar, that means it might be time to go home. It's like, oops, that's where we're going.
We always joke that our Havanese Bailey never liked to walk, but she liked to walk home. In the last year of her life, because she had 2 strokes, we had to use a buggy. She could walk, but because the only way we could get her to walk is to push her in the buggy and
Yeah,
then she would walk home because she was very happy to walk home. She just never wanted to go
yeah.
anywhere else. Yeah.
See,
Oh,
my little dog is the complete opposite. He could just walk and walk and walk for forever. He's a Jack Russell, so a little dog with a big dog attitude. So
they
Yeah.
have a
he
lot
thinks
of
he's
energy
big.
too, don't they, Heather?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, more than Bailey maybe, but he and Bailey play nonstop,
Oh,
and she's
oh,
actually the one that keeps bugging him to play.
she,
So
yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, but
he
she
brings
just
out the
loves
feisty in her.
playing with him. It's just, oh, yeah. I
It's
was very
very cute.
worried last year when they first met that they were not going to get along, and she just sort of attacked. And even though he's probably twice her size, they get along so well. and they just love each other.
That's
And
pretty cute.
my other kids, Patrick has a golden
A
retriever.
lab,
Well, lab.
lab.
Okay, lab. And he's way too excited. But Craig, who lives here in Portland, they got uh, a golden retriever, I guess. And he he loves to play. And the first two times they were together, it was just like awful. You had to hold him down, and Bailey hated him. And, you know, 4 months later, Bailey just eggs him on. And uh, she is tall enough to stand on the couch and chew at his face. And he didn't care. So
Oh,
I they would never be able to play like Bailey and Cody because they just get into these roughhouse fights that I would have never have believed
well, maybe she
before.
doesn't know she's a little dog. Maybe she's got a little of Dr. McDougall's personality.
Right.
Oh,
maybe,
you know,
maybe.
that's so cute. One of the viewers would say, Mary, why did you choose a Havanese?
Uh,
I think
well,
that's one that we were talking about you getting just because we knew it was just such a good companion dog, small, mild tempered, perfect for my mom. We just wanted something that would be
yeah,
a good friend and
I can still, I can still remember looking through all the things, and Craig's wife Mika was telling me all about all these mixed breed dogs, and so I wrote to Heather's husband, and I said, Brant, what kind of dog should I get? And he wrote one word back, Havanese, and that was it. So luckily they have several really excellent Havanese breeders in Portland. And so I started researching, and I found one that raises their dogs in their home with their family, not in kennels. And that's what I thought would be best. And so Jason, Jason and I just went there one day. Yeah, I talked to them beforehand, but it was one day, early October, after Jason was back to school, and we just drove there and said, well, what do you recommend? And they had one female, and she actually looks like an Oreo cookie.
Yep, yep, black and white.
She's black, and she's got a white stripe, and then she's got some more black, and then she's got another white stripe. And she was just, I don't know. We both just fell in love with her. And Jason said, we got to have her.
Oh, and that you picked a great name. I mean, that was my dog's name, Bailey. It means steward. When Bailey passed away, which was just about 4 weeks ago, I want to show you what this really.
Oh,
It's the
oh,
best
Can you see
gift,
this?
AJ. I love it. Oh,
oh,
that's so cute.
Yeah, I think I
Oh,
have to be talking for the viewers to see it, but the person wants to be anonymous. They're a visual special effects editor. If you're watching, I cannot thank you enough for this. This is,
oh,
and it's really,
she looks so much like Bailey. If if
well,
if you turn the gray into black, she would be Bailey perfectly.
I'm gonna be honest, my Bailey is a half breed. She was half poodle. They called it a Havanoodle. I got her from the shelter, but
oh.
there's just such
Oh,
wonderful temperaments. And what's cool about this picture is I don't know how he did it, but whenever we move, like her eyes follow us. It's weird, actually. So it,
oh,
it just really provided me with a lot of comfort. But man, it's so hard to lose somebody you love, whether they're human or pet.
it
It's just
is.
I
It
can't think
really
of
is.
anything harder in life. I really was talking to Dr. Brooke Goldner yesterday, who talked a little bit openly about the loss of her son tragically in a car accident. And it's like, I don't know if people get over it, they move forward, but it's just so hard.
Yeah, you don't really get over it. You just move forward. And that's kind of like me right now. I'm just like 1 or 2 days at a time. And when things come up and it works out, well, if it works out for me and for Bailey, I say fine. If I don't try now to plan ahead because I've learned that things change overnight. And I wasn't expecting it. Uh, uh, my whole life changed overnight.
I know.
And so I've kind of learned, you know, I'm not going to plan 2 months in advance because I could walk out of my door and fall down and die. I mean, it's just.
You never know what's going to happen. But, AJ, when you were talking about, loss and love, and, it's a part of life. When I think about having animals in our lives, we've lost so many animals over the years, but I can't imagine not having them in our lives and all the things that they bring to it. And the same with people. You love people, you love animals, you bring them into your life, and unfortunately, you're going to lose some of them. But I
Yeah.
think just appreciating the time that you had with them and the experiences and what you learned from them is what you got to do. So,
It just hurts so much when it happens, you know.
oh, it does. It
Oh,
does. It's terrible. You're right.
Dr. McDougall used to always say, men die quicker, women die sicker. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know why Jewish men die sooner, and it's because they're married to Jewish women. You know. Rosanna Alviera, whose husband is Jewish, she always tells that joke. So yeah, it's just so funny. Well, oh, here's a comment on Instagram from Momo Maui. He or she says, "Aloha, Heather. Please reach out to me if you ever will consider doing a group to Maui. We have lots of connections for events."
Oh, fun. We're going to Maui this fall,
Ooh, wow, we could call it McDougall Maui experience, you know?
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We used to go to Maui quite a bit with our adventure trips. Yeah.
Oh, we did.
It'd be great. Yeah. Well, reach
We
out to me,
and we had
Heather at
our last
drmcdougall.com.
we
Yeah,
had
so
our last family trip there.
oh, that'd be so cool. So Mamo Maui, please reach out to Heather at drmcdougall.com. And then Krista says, Mary, how did you choose the name of your dog?
That's the name that they gave her when she was born. And
Oh,
so I liked it, and it just kind of felt right. And I'm not really a good name picker.
yeah.
I mean, when Craig was born, we knew what we wanted his middle name to be because he was going to be named after his great great grandfather. And I, Heather, I don't know if you remember this or not, but we had lists.
Oh
And
yeah, it took days.
yeah,
But
uh,
it was a family thing. Like we all had a part in choosing Craig's name.
we knew it had to go with Samuel. And it was like, well, what goes with Samuel? And everybody had a different opinion. And
Craig
Heather,
won.
Heather, you were a choice between Hillary and Heather. I don't know why.
Thank goodness you chose Heather. I don't look like a Hillary. I just don't.
No, you don't look like a Hillary at all. And Patrick was named after my dad, and um, and his dad, Patrick John.
So
So
interesting how names are chosen.
Well, Bailey
uh,
McDougall sounds perfect.
It's cute.
Yeah. Well, what some people may not know is, with the McDougall program, there was never a pause. It's like the show must go on because I'm sure that's what Dr. McDougall would have wanted. But what's different now is that Mary's back because I know she took a break. You know, they used to do the morning chat with
Yeah.
Dr. John and Mary McDougall, and of course she took a break, but she's back. So if you take the program, I know there's a few slots left for August.
July.
July, sorry.
It's okay.
July, that's right. So,
Yes,
Well,
Mom is
I did
back
one
doing
show with
chats,
Heather.
which has been great.
I did one show with Heather last program, which was really fun. But AJ, I'm really getting old.
but you never from what I understand, you never sought the limelight. You know you'll do it.
No.
It's not like you can't wait. I mean, that's why this is such an
Oh,
honor and a privilege. It's not like you're like, yeah, I want to be on your, you just kind of are, like you say, an introvert.
I am. That just I've been that way my whole life. And I never I had friends in high school. Um I actually roomed with one of them afterward, but never really close friends. I really like being by myself, except now that I have a dog, it's way different. And so I'm not excited to go and meet other people and do other things. That that's just not me. It's never been me.
Right. But yet you married. Look who you married.
I know.
I guess they say opposites attract, you know. I remember Dr. McDougall saying, marry somebody happy.
Yes. And I remember him, um, God, just a couple of years, or 2 or 3 years ago, because he would come here every weekend and he would sit and talk to Jason about how important it was to marry somebody that was happy, that you weren't looking to change them into something else, because that never really works. And so they had many talks about um, finding the right person, someone who makes you happy, and someone who is happy, just a happy person. I really don't know how to explain it, but I think Jason listened. I hope, because it is really important.
Absolutely.
You
Oh.
know?
Somebody's saying, Mary, maybe she could take a once a month spot just to chat with us. You know, when we were doing the show, Dr. McDougall and Mary would often come on with Dr. McDougall. She wouldn't stay the whole 4 hours. That man could talk. That
Oh
man
yeah,
could talk. He
he
could
could
have
go
been a
on
great senator.
forever.
If he was a senator, I could just, I mean, yeah, he had the gift of gab, you know?
He would be
He
a
did.
filibuster. You know,
Yeah.
he could talk for 12 or 14 hours, on any problem at all.
He was good at that. I think my mom really balanced my dad out, because he was so big and so loud. He needed someone quiet and soft by his side. They made a great pair.
Do you still talk to him, Mary?
No, but I do have dreams almost every night that he is in.
That he's coming to you. That means he's coming to you. Oh my God. I've had a couple of dreams about him. I mean, it's like fantastic, isn't it, when they visit?
Yeah, but it's always weird. It's not like anything important. It's like he's got his favorite red T-shirt on. I mean, I just had one last night, and I don't know that he ever. I really can't remember what we were doing or what we were talking about, but he was there, and uh I don't know. No, but usually during the day, no, we don't have talks. Every once in a while, I look over at his chair and I'm holding Bailey and I say, Bailey, Grandpa wouldn't really like this. Or we go on our walks and we go and visit his favorite benches. And I say, okay, we're going to Grandpa's favorite bench. And we've gone so many times that she knows the way already. And we'll just go by and we'll say, hi, Grandpa. And then we'll walk on. And his one favorite bench, she will actually sit on for a while and just sit there. And but AJ, in his whole life, I would never ever have imagined him liking a small dog. So so I we often have talks about, Bailey, I know Grandpa wouldn't like you because you're too tiny and you jump around all the time. And, he liked big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the viewers is saying, I just love Mary. I love how honest she is. I'm an introvert as well. So next year, isn't that a big birthday for you, Mary? The next year?
Oh God, yes, I'm going to be 80.
So
Oh,
we're gonna have a big party on Zoom or in person or
oh,
okay, that's gotta
well,
be something.
probably not in person, but
We'll do something
that's
big. It's a big
months.
year.
That's months away. I only plan 1 or 2 days ahead
That's
of
right.
time.
You're on the 2-day plan now. So so on I think you're wait, what was your so on April 28th of next year, you got a plan for it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
2 days in advance.
Two
Okay.
days ahead.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah, that's so something. Well, you guys, thank you so much, for coming on. You're always welcome, just as Dr. McDougall was anytime, to talk about whatever you want, promote the McDougall program. Guys, I get to do a cooking demo in it. It's so much fun and people are loving. I made two friends that live in my town because of
I
the
love
McDougall
that. That
program.
was
I mean,
great.
Oh, that's
like
great.
that like never happens. I jokingly always would say when I do the cooking demo, anybody comes and does the dishes, they can eat for free tonight. And this was the first time that somebody actually lived in West Roseville. They came over that night. We stayed friends. They've been coming to all the parties. So you really can make
Oh,
friends if you take the McDougall program, because what you need if you're not succeeding is not only the information, but the community. And you'll get that every day in this fabulous program. And we hope you'll come to Vegas and see Heather for sure. And I pray every day, 2 days before, because Mary only makes a plan 2 days ahead.
2 days before something is going to come along, and they'll say, I got a place for Bailey.
Yeah, and that she'll hop on that plane. But if not, you can meet Heather in person and all of us, and we'll be paying a really wonderful homage and tribute to Dr. John McDougall because the conference is dedicated to his memory. Because I held out hope that he would attend, and so in a way, he will be there in spirit.
He will be there
Yeah,
in spirit,
Yeah.
AJ.
there you go.
I'm sure of that.
I think so. So thank you guys so much. And thank you for continuing his legacy by continuing with your YouTube channel and with the program. And maybe we'll have an adventure trip to look forward to in the future. And so many comments. Love this time with Mary and Heather. We love the McDougalls. Who doesn't love the McDougalls? You know, do you still eat the soups?
Oh yeah, we've got them in our pantry. They're
Yeah, me
just
too.
Charles
really
does
great to
too.
have when you
When
don't
I
have
don't have
time.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. We Charles loves them. He had split pea yesterday, actually. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, you're so welcome, everyone. It was a wonderful night to meet you. So take care, Heather and Mary, and take care, all of
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for
Thank
watching
you.
another. Oh, so great to see you. You please
Thanks.
come back
That's
anytime.
great.
And Mary, I'm going to see if this comes in 6 quart, and if it does, I'll send it to you. Otherwise, I'll have to send you an 8 quart instant pot. Which
Yeah.
cooking with
Well,
cooking for one
Lord,
eight.
I mean, geez,
Right, that's a lot.
I was going to say you
I live
probably
by myself.
yeah, you'd probably do better now with the 3 quart. So that's good. All right. Well, thank you so much. And guys, please come back Thursday at 10 a.m. for a show with Dr. Matt Letterman where we'll be discussing whether or not I will be walking away from all cancer treatment. This is a show you won't want to miss. Take care,
Oh,
everybody.
I don't have an opinion.
I know. Well, Dr. McDougall, this is a show I wanted to do with Dr. McDougall.
Oh, I
Really?
know.
It's so funny because it almost happened because I said, because I hadn't come out yet and he was going to do it. He didn't want to. He goes, okay, I'll do it. And then I am mad at you, Dr. McDougall, for dying. You have really
Yeah,
messed
us
you have
too.
messed things up for me, but no, I can kind of I know what he would have said and what
You
he
know what he would have said.
and I think he,
You talked to him enough
I
times.
talked to him enough. Even though we never discussed when I'm on Keytruda, one of the things he always said is don't go to doctors. They'll always find something. And
They'll
now that
always find.
and that's all I've been doing. And frankly, I'm getting sick of it. So it's time to do, he always said, I'm pretty sure you're going to die with it, not from it. He goes, live your life. And so maybe we'll dedicate Thursday's show to Dr. McDougall because I kind of have a feeling which way I'm going to go. Wait, I'm waiting for one more thing, Doctor. I'm going to be talking to Dr. Sultana tomorrow. And if
Oh,
yeah,
he's
because
good.
oh my God, he's been my doctor for 15 years. And if he says stop, we're stopping. And
He's right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, he's so one. Gosh,
Yeah,
he's
I like him too.
oh,
Yes.
I'm so glad. Okay. Well, good to see you
Thanks,
guys. And I
AJ.
hope to see
Okay.
you again
Thanks,
soon.
AJ.
That
Take
was
care,
fun.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.